Can you please be seated? We're starting in a few minutes, please.
an incredible transformation. And Italy, a strong, diversified economy with a promising future. We have rich histories, scenic views, and some of the world's greatest landmarks on our lands. With cultures that are worlds apart, the two nations meet in the quest for prosperity, innovation, and limitless success. Today, we come together to solidify a friendship of decades through the Saudi-Italian Investment Forum. The forum aims to nurture a myriad of opportunities for the coming years. As Saudi Arabia moves forward in the realization of Vision 2030, Italy supports the diversification of its economy with promising partnerships. By inspiring our communities, we are building a safe and secure world where we strengthen our ambitions with trusted collaborations and welcome initiatives, providing us mutual benefits and joint victory. Our shared potential unleashes excellence, shaping a better future for our people.
Good morning, Your Excellency Mohammed Al Jad'an, Your Excellency Luigi Di Maio, ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests and colleagues, and welcome to the Saudi-Italian Investment Forum here in Riyadh 2022. My name is Farah Al-Baltan, and it's my pleasure to welcome all members of the Italian delegation on behalf of the Saudi Ministry of Investment and Ministry of Finance to the capital of a future, the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to draw your attention that in the back of your badges, you identify the barcode. You can scan it to view the agenda of today and the investment strategy presentation. At the forum today, we will explore together the investment opportunities that both the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Italy have to offer, as well as sharing the exciting progress in each respective country. We will also be looking at the bright future ahead for the two nations, so stay tuned to discover the world of opportunities available. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, kindly help me welcoming on stage His Excellency Mohammed Al Jad'an, Saudi Arabia's Minister of Finance, who will open today's proceedings.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Saudi Arabia and the Saudi-Italian Investment Forum. Thank you all for attending today. I would also like to thank my colleagues and our Italian partners for organizing this event. The opportunities here are exciting, and I'm delighted to be part of this effort to deepen the ties between our nations. In Saudi Arabia, under Vision 2030, we are undergoing an economic transformation which is opening unique investment opportunities. The Italian investors, with their expertise, experience, and innovation, are invited to be a part of our transformation. For example, the world's leading energy economy, the energy transition creates obvious opportunities for Saudi Arabia. We started rapidly increasing renewable energy production and create a value chain around the energy sector, which is creating very exciting investment opportunities here. Italy has long been a global leader in energy, so there is a clear opportunity for Italian investors to be part of our energy transition. Likewise, when we look at culture or tourism, Saudi Arabia is developing its culture and tourism sectors from a very low base. We want to encourage the world to come and explore our history, experience our culture, enjoy the natural beauty of our landscape. As our efforts drive a rapid increase in visitors numbers to the kingdom, there will be a wealth of opportunities for investments. I can go on for an extended time to list the exciting investment opportunities in the various sectors in the thriving Saudi economy under Vision 2030, including mining, telecom, technology, space, transport, logistics, just to name few. We are very excited by the potential of this partnership. And I'm very, very sure by the conclusion of this event, you would have discovered more opportunities with my colleagues from the private sector. Once again, thank you all for coming and participating into today's discussion. And I wish you a pleasant stay in your second home, Riyadh. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, I would like to welcome His Excellency Luigi Di Maio, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Italian Republic.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Minister of Finance of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, distinguished representatives of the business communities, members of the Saudi and Italian delegations. I am pleased to open this investment forum, organizing the emergence of the 12th session of the Saudi Arabia-Italy Joint Commission. I thank our hosts for their kind invitation and hospitality, and for the excellent collaboration in organizing this initiative. I'm delighted to come back to Riyadh after the official visit I paid to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in January 2021. On that occasion, I signed, together with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, a memorandum of understanding to start a strategic dialogue aimed at fostering bilateral relations between Italy and Saudi Arabia in all areas of common interest. On that basis, we have all been fully committed to taking a step forward in our bilateral cooperation, especially in the framework of this year's 90th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. Economic and trade cooperation is a pillar of our friendship, and today's investment forum is a concrete sign of the vibrant connection tying our business communities. After the global downturn in international trade caused by the pandemic, Italy has entered an intense post-pandemic recovery in 2021 with a 6.6% GDP increase and a record of 516 billion euros in export volumes. Last year, our bilateral trade volume surpassed pre-pandemic results, setting a new record of more than 8 billion euros. Italy is Kingdom's 7th supplier globally and 2nd supplier within the EU. In the 3-year period 2019-2021, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia ranked Italy's 3rd market within the MENA region. Italian companies have built a significant capital of trust with Saudi Arabia. Italian foreign direct investment stocks totaled over 4.5 billion euro in 2020. Moreover, an increasing number of Italian firms is operating in the priority sectors identified by Vision 2030, that His Excellency mentioned, which we consider as a strategic framework of cooperation for the coming years. Likewise, the success of Saudi investments in Italy is significant for the Italian government. The Italian National Recovery and Resilience Plan, which is about 250 billion euro, offers new opportunities as it outlines a roadmap of ambitious goals for the next years. It aims at accelerating the ecological transition, making the economic system more competitive, creating more jobs, and strengthening resilience to climate change. With a total allocation of 7 billion euros in favor of the green revolution and ecological transition, we will increase the share of electricity produced from renewable sources up to 70% by 2030 and develop sustainable mobility, including with the adoption of hydrogen-based solutions. Thanks to the Recovery and Resilience Plan, Italy will become one of the world leaders in terms of high-speed rail. The Italian companies represented here today own outstanding expertise and international credibility. They have already actively contributed as strategic partners in the implementation of key projects in the fields of infrastructure and mobility, energy, culture, and tourism. Let me just mention a few of them. The Riyadh Metro project, the Saudi Land Bridge Visionary Railway project, the Diriyah Art Center, the concert hall in Alula. In the energy and infrastructure sectors, many Italian companies have been working side by side with major Saudi businesses. With regard to culture and tourism, some important partnerships are also ongoing with excellent expectations. In all these areas, there is wide potential to strengthen further our collaboration. Our private sector has a long-standing and unique experience, which could meaningfully accompany the Saudi path towards a more diversified economy. I refer in particular to its possible increasing contribution to your ambitious giga and mega projects. During the following presentations and the B2B session, Italian companies will highlight their technological and innovative expertise that they could mobilize to the advantage of our and your projects. Their innovation skills are conducive to the implementation of the Kingdom's goals, especially for infrastructures, modernization, sustainability, and energy transition. Italian businesses can provide cutting-edge solutions to maximize the potential of renewable energy in Saudi Arabia and advance toward the objective of net zero emissions to 2060 set out in the Saudi Green Initiative. Our respective investment programs and their financial instruments for our companies could be an essential driver to reinforce bilateral trade and industrial cooperation. We are confident, Dear Excellency, that Italian and Saudi public funds will play a crucial role, as well as financial and export credit agencies which are with us today. The Joint Business Council, established today by the Federation of Saudi Chambers of Commerce and Confindustria, is an additional tool to promote partnerships between our business communities and increase trade and investment flows. I am sure that today's discussions and B2B meetings will offer new, concrete opportunities to develop further economic relations between Saudi Arabia and Italy. Dear Excellency, count on our support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And now, dear guests, join me at welcoming on stage Mr. Kamel El-Mnejed, President of the Italian-Saudi Business Council at the Federation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Federation of the Saudi Chamber of Commerce and its chairman, Mr. Ajlan Al-Ajlan, I would like to welcome you all to your second home, Riyadh. My name is Kamel Al-Munajjid, and I chair the Saudi-Italian Business Council. I'm honored to be here today addressing such a distinguished audience at this forum organized by the Ministry of Investment and the Ministry of Finance. We're further honored that this gathering is chaired by two prominent ministers, our Minister of Finance, Dr. Al-Jad'an, and the Italian Foreign Minister, Mr. Di Maio. This is indeed a unique event, and it gives us great joy to see such a large number of Italian and Saudi companies present here today, all of them with positive dispositions and open to work and partner together. The last such event was held 6 years ago in 2017 in Rome, but we hope that from now on this would become an annual or bi-yearly event. Ladies and gentlemen, Saudi Vision 2030 has opened Saudi Arabia to the world and the world to Saudi Arabia. It is transforming our economy from an oil-based economy into a thriving, knowledge-based one. It has unlocked the capabilities of millions of young Saudis and unearthed unused potential. It has, in a very short time, energized the entire society with dynamism and motivation. It has created innovative business opportunities and put us at the forefront of green initiatives, renewable energy, logistic hubs, and the creation of millions of jobs, all whilst propelling us into the second century at great speed. Thousands of foreign companies are flocking to Saudi Arabia today to participate in our new boom, and we welcome them all. Where are the Italians in all this? Today, we only have around 160 companies registered here. Our trade balance hasn't fluctuated much since several years, with a ceiling of $7–8 billion. I believe the real numbers are higher due to third country transshipments, though. Most of the large infrastructure Italian companies, such as WeBuild, Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane, Magaldi Green Energy, and others, are present today in Saudi, participating in our mega projects. Beside these large companies, it is important to mention that Italy is the first partner of Saudi Arabia in the SME sector. And that is, as you all know, the most resilient part of an economic relationship between any two countries. We're also benefiting from the world-class knowledge of Italy in the field of archaeology at our GEM cultural and touristic projects in Al-Ola. There is still room for more Italian presence in Saudi Arabia. And I noticed, for example, that no Italian banking or investment companies are operating yet here today. Ladies and gentlemen, organizing this event has been a challenging endeavor due to both time and logistic complications. I would like to thank again the Ministry of Investment for their superb work, as they have become specialists in delivering top quality results under very difficult conditions. I would also like to thank the Saudi ambassador to Italy, His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Sattam, for his unwavering support to the business community, his tireless efforts to promote business relations between the two countries, noticeably the establishment of the business center within our embassy in Rome to help answer the needs of Italian businessmen and women quickly and efficiently. I also applaud the relentless efforts of the Italian ambassador in Saudi Arabia, His Excellent Mr. Roberto Cantoni, and his team for their support to the Saudi business community and the promotion of partnerships between Saudi and Italian companies, leading up to the success of this forum. Finally, I'm thrilled to announce that today I have signed on behalf of the Federation of Saudi Chambers the cooperation agreement with the most prestigious business owners association in Italy, Confindustria. This will unlock further cooperation and a more structured approach for partnerships between companies in the two countries. The help of His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Sattam and His Excellency Mr. Roberto Cantoni was crucial and key to finalize this agreement. We are honored the Vice President of Confindustria, Ms. Barbara Beltrami, is amongst us today for the signature of this agreement. Our hope is for this agreement to also entice the authorities in both countries to solidify and protect partnerships through double taxation and investment protection treaties. I thank you all for your presence, especially His Excellency Mr. Di Maio and His Excellency Dr. Al-Jadaan for joining us today and for their continuous support to the business communities in both countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamel. Now, please welcome Ms. Barbara Beltrame Giocamello, Vice President for Internationalization, Confindustria.
Thank you very much. Dear Minister, dear Excellencies, and distinguished participants. Actually, today is a real pleasure for me to be here in Riyadh and participate to this investment forum representing Italy industrial system. I believe that this initiative is extremely important to share development goals and opportunities for the deeper integration between our economies. Confindustria is a network of more than 150,000 associate companies and about 5 million people employed in more than 20 industrial sectors. Our business community has a strong international vocations, and the industrial system is specialized in terms of quality and technologies. These elements make our country exporter and of excellences all over the world. Today, we are in the middle of deep change with a mix of crises on energy, food, raw materials, and the continuing effect of the pandemic, of course. In this context, international is still crucial and must be supported in all any possible way. Because companies competing and foreign markets can develop more skills, innovate more, invest more, and this makes them grow stronger and more competitive. Therefore, the interest of our company to find new foreign and international partners remain unchanged. Our strategy is to promote a win-win partnership for co-development projects where the Italian industrial system can have an important role. And today, our companies are looking carefully to Saudi Arabia, a land in which they can invest and create new opportunities. The Saudi Vision 2030 is a huge action plan to transform the national economy by involving enterprises of all sizes in high-value-added sector. And I think that the experience of Italian large group combined with the dynamic of our small and medium enterprises can be a strong competitive factor for the South economy. In Italy, we have our national plan too, that is called the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. Both our plans share a focus on common issues such as digitalization, green transition, energy and sustainable efficiency, research and innovation, transportation and logistics, construction and infrastructure. In other words, both our plans look for the future generations, for a strong, sustainable and inclusive economic growth. But these goals can be achieved only with the involvement of companies and productive systems, the very backbone of economic development. Of course, national and international financial programs are key to encourage and stimulate investors from companies. On the other hand, considering the difficulties of historical moment, companies and corporates must regain confidence in the search of new opportunity, new partnership, and new synergies. And the forum today show how crucial is the teamwork between the business community and the public institution to face the challenges of our times. For all those reasons, the signature of the Memorandum of Understanding is the result of a strong common will by Confindustria and the Federation of Saudi Chamber of Commerce. I strongly believe that an increasing dialogue between Confindustria and a qualified local partner at the South Chamber of Commerce is key to create a positive business environment for the cooperation between Italian and Saudi companies. In the same way, the Saudi-Italian Business Council represents a new bridge to foster economy and social relations, to support companies, and to support a dialogue between our governments. To conclude, let me say that today's business forum should be considered as a starting point, and of course, an extremely useful opportunity for the companies. With this spirit, on behalf of Confindustria, I'm delighted to establish the collaboration with the Federation of South Chamber of Commerce for the promotion of the excellences of Italian companies in this growing country. Today, together with South France, we already signed this partnership, and we will start working on our future goals with the final aim of making the dual Saudi Arabia-Italy over stronger and more solid. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Now, we have a very exciting moment, the MOU exchange ceremony. I would now like to invite to the stage to witness this ceremony Their Excellencies, the Minister of Finance of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed Al-Jad'an, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Italian Republic, Luigi Di Maio. And we would now like to call up their parties of the first MOU between Mr. Kamel Al-Mnajid, President of the Italian Saudi Business Council at the Federation of Saudi Chambers of Commerce, and Ms. Barbara Beltrame Giacomello, Vice President of the Internationalization at the General Confederation of Italian Industry. Thank you so much. May Your Excellency stay for the next MOU, please. Next, we would like to call up the parties of the second MOU between Mr. Basil Al-Abd Al-Karim, CEO of We Energy, and Mr. Andrea Galberte, CEO of Officini Nicola Galberte e Fellow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies. Thank you. Thank you again. We will now watch a short video from Invest Saudi. After that, we will be hearing from Ms. Haya Al-Qahtani more insights about Invest Saudi, Vision 2030, and investment opportunities in the kingdom.
Wonder what it's like to fast forward to the future? A future where the heart of the world connects old global trade routes with new global cities, where we fuel innovation to generate tomorrow's energy, where we disrupt old sectors to grow new ones, all while unleashing the potential of untapped opportunities, where reform is the norm and where doing business gets easier and better by the day, even by the hour, where the young are empowered to compete like never before, and where Saudi Arabia is open to the world and for the world. We don't just look forward to the future, we're seizing it. Invest Saudi.
Buongiorno, eccellenze, onorevoli, colleghi e colleghe, illustri ospiti e benvenuti al Saudi Italian Investment Forum 2022 a Riyadh. Il 2022 segna il 90° anniversario dell'instaurazione delle relazioni storiche tra il Regno dell'Arabia Saudita e l'Italia e non vediamo l'ora di esplorare nuove opportunità in vari settori. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and colleagues, it is truly a privilege to be here with you all today and to give you a glimpse into Invest Saudi and the kingdom of opportunities. I'd like to start out by saying that Saudi Arabia is changing. It is opened up to the world as we welcome businesses, visitors, and investors to step into a Saudi unexplored, a Saudi unexpected. With the launch of Vision 2030 in 2016, we've started on a path to an ambitious transformation in cultural, economic, and social aspects. The transformations brought by Vision 2030 are set on the 3 targets of an ambitious nation, a thriving economy, and a vibrant society. Of those targets is to increase FDI to 5.7% of GDP by 2030, up from 1.3% benchmarked in 2016. Generate $267 billion of non-oil government revenue, up from $43 billion in 2016, as well as target $2 trillion of public investment funds assets under management, up from $160 billion in 2016. So what we have achieved so far in line with Vision 2030 is the following. 2.3% is the FDI percentage to GDP in 2021. We have generated over $25.1 billion of non-oil government revenue in Q1 of 2022 alone, and over $107.5 billion generated in 2021. Moreover, around $620 billion is the public investment funds assets under management by the end of Q1 2022. Vision 2030 is backed by the National Investment Strategy. This is a strategy that was launched by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The NIS aims to develop strong and diverse investment opportunities by unlocking key conclusions and effective governance, as well as identifying investment opportunities for all sectors. It aims to enhance domestic, private sector, and foreign investor contribution, as well as provide transparency to the private sector regarding the methodology and principles of partnership. It will remove financial barriers to investment and create an attractive and competitive investment environment for investors globally and domestically. Having said so, the Kingdom's NIS, or National Investment Strategy, aims to increase investments in the Kingdom, reaching a cumulative total of investments of more than $3.2 trillion to 2030. Some of the NIS targets includes 3 times the increase in investment volume to $545 billion by 2030, equivalent to 30% of the GDP, as well as 20 times the increase in FDI. So this brings me to why are businesses choosing Saudi Arabia and to invest in the Kingdom? Vision 2030 has created game-changing opportunities from the privatization programs, localization of value chains, as well as the giga and mega projects. The scope of these investment opportunities covers areas all over the Kingdom to highlight all that our country has to offer in terms of geographical benefits. Our giga and mega projects have set out to be some of the world's most ambitious and impressive investment projects, projects that offer world-class opportunities for investors across various sectors. Moreover, Saudi Arabia is the 19th largest economy in the world and the largest in the Middle East and North African region. The kingdom has a strong and resilient G20 economy. It is positioned as the first in population growth rate over the next 5 years among the G20, the 7th largest GDP per capita among the G20, with a 7.6% expected GDP growth in 2022. Another reason why businesses are choosing to invest in the kingdom is its strategic location. The kingdom offers easy access to 3 continents within a few hours. More than 50 of the fast-growing markets are within a 4-hour reach, and over 40% of the largest economies are within 6 hours. And this is all supported by the country's interconnected logistics network that has over 28 airports throughout the country, 14 of which are international airports, 10 seaports that process over 13 million containers per year, giving Saudi Arabia the largest maritime network in the Middle East, and over 40 industrial cities and zones being developed. Additionally, the modern digital infrastructure also provides an important basis for the growth in Saudi Arabia and why are businesses choosing to invest. 96% is the internet usage penetration rate in the kingdom versus 53.6% globally. Being a lot higher than most countries in the world, we are gifted with a population that is not only young, but incredibly digital as well. Saudi Arabia placed 3rd globally for 5G network deployment in 2020, and the first most developed ICT regulator in the Arab world. When it comes to sustainability, the Saudi Green Initiative addresses the planting of 10 billion trees in the kingdom, 40 billion trees to be planted in the Middle East in cooperation with other governments, and most importantly, through this initiative, Saudi Arabia aims to reach net zero emissions by 2050. Having said all of this, Saudi Arabia is aiming to be the 15th largest economy by 2030, and to achieve this, there have been many initiatives aimed to diversify the economy and improve productivity. Essentially, we are moving from an economy that was once state-led to an economy that is now private sector-led. We are moving from an economy that was once oil-driven to an economy that is now productivity-driven. To support this, there have been 517 pro-business reforms identified, 77% of which have already been implemented. And this is why Saudi Arabia was listed among the top business climate and improvers and reformers globally by the World Bank. Some of these business reforms include the following. The time that it takes to obtain an investment license was reduced from 3 days to 3 hours. The license period has been increased to 5+ years, and it takes just about 24 hours to issue a business visa. And most importantly, 100% of foreign ownership in the base economy for international investors is allowed for most sectors. And finally, this leads me to how investors can access these opportunities, as we're trying to make the accessibility to the market as easy as possible and are continuously improving on ways to do so. One of the main platforms available for investors is the Invest Saudi online portal. It was curated to give investors a glance into the developments in the kingdom, as well as facts and figures and all the information and services to help them evaluate their approach and discover opportunities. And of course, we as the Ministry of Investment work closely with investors, support them in developing their business plans, as well as assessing opportunities and connecting them with sector heads and all the relevant entities. We do all of this under the unified brand of Invest Saudi. With that, I conclude our presentation on Invest Saudi and the Kingdom of Opportunities. Thank you very much for your time. Grazie.
Thank you so much, Haya. We are now going to hear a several presentations for financial cooperation between Italy and Saudi Arabia, starting with Mr. Abdullah Salim, Head of Strategy and Planning at the Saudi Public Investment Fund.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, dear esteemed guests. We'll have a brief presentation about public investment fund. So, a bad start, huh? So PIF, most people think that's relatively new. Well, PIF is more than 50 years old. PIF was established in 1971 and was transferred under His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman leadership in 2015. In 2017, PIF started its own visionarization program. It was announced in the FII initiative at the end of 2017, aiming and having some very ambitious KPIs from the year 2018 to the year 2020. After that, earlier last year, PIF announced its new strategy from 2021 until 2025. So, what does PIF aims to have? PIF aims to be the largest sovereign wealth fund, while in the same time support the diversification in the Saudi economy and also shaping the future economy. Most people don't know how PIF is structured, let's say, what's our investment portfolios. Basically, we have 6 investment portfolios in PIF. 2 of them are international, 4 of them are local. Maybe one of the most famous local ones is the Saudi Giga projects, where my colleagues will mention some of the projects today in today's venue. Also, we have the Saudi Sector Development Project, Saudi Equity Holding Projects, and Real Estate Project, where on the international front, we have the International Strategic Investment Portfolio and the International Diversified Portfolio. So, locally, what kind of sectors, let's say, that we focus on and we think as our priority in terms of financial viability, also as well as economical impact. So we prioritize our sectors, and we have 13 priority sectors that goes from real estate all the way to financial sectors. You might notice some new sectors that we're having in our new strategy, like automotives and aerospace and defense. Also, those sectors are aligned with the key sectors that Their Excellency mentioned in their opening remarks today, which feels very aligned and excited with this forum. On the international upfront, we also look into more investment that shift demographics, sustainable investment, investment in cutting-edge technologies and R&Ds as well. So how far did PIF go? As my colleague Haya mentioned, maybe in 2016, we had around $160 billion of asset under management. Today, we have around $620 billion of asset under management. In terms of companies that we established in those sectors, we established more than 50 companies in 10 different sectors, which will hopefully support the growth and diversification of the Saudi economy. That's not the end of the story, ladies and gentlemen. We have some ambitions and high ambitions to reach by the year 2025. By 2025, we hope to reach 4 trillion AUM, 4 trillion riyals of assets under management, which is around or above $1 trillion of assets under management. Also, we aim to contribute to our non-oil GDP with a cumulative of 1.2 trillion riyals, and also help in creating 1 million jobs that include direct and indirect and induced jobs for those 13 sectors. By that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. And now, in continuation of the financial cooperation presentations, we invite to the stage Mr. Emiliano Lucci, Head of Investment Partners Relation and Fundraising of CDP Equity.
Excellency, distinguished participants, I'm very honored to be part of this event and be among these high-level speakers. I wanted to make a brief presentation of CDP activity, in particular on the equity investment activities. CDP is a very ancient organization. It was established in 1850, and it has always been responsible of investing the postal savings, a very ancient form of savings, which all the Italians take a part. It accounts of a little less than 300 billion, which we have the responsibility to invest safely. CDP has always supported the public administration in Italy, region, municipalities, provinces, helping them to support their territories. As the time passed, CDP expanded the spectrum of intervention, supporting small, medium enterprises, large enterprises by loan guarantees, and supporting also the export financing, especially in the Middle East. We also started to invest in equities, in crucial, important companies in Italy. Even if 37 billion might seem small if compared to the total asset of more than, of more than 500 billion, isn't so. It's very important. This is a brief representation of GDP portfolio. We own stakes in most of the important and strategic companies in Italy. Some of them are represented here, and we don't do this alone. In most of them, we have a participation together with the foreign investor, and this is represent how CDP can be the ideal partner for a Saudi investor to invest in Italy, both directly or indirectly. I can make some example. Autostrade per l'Italia is the largest manager of largest network of toll roads in Italy. It was very hard deal. We were able to do this with a specific vehicle together with the foreign investor, in particular Macquarie and Blackstone, that help us to pursue this investment and confirm that CDP is a market player and the foreign investor can find a chance to enter in specific asset. And also Nexi, which is not a physical infrastructure but digital infrastructure, is one of the largest company providing digital payments among Europe. This is an investment we made with the Kuwait Investment Authority. We have a specific platform. They invested with us in several companies. So this is one of the main transactions we made. And as you can see, we have a different kind of strategy. We both invest in strategic infrastructure, as I already mentioned. We support our portfolio company when they need to grow again. And we make also capital rotation. We also have a specific mission. In the strategic infrastructure, we are a long-term investor. We are sort of a permanent equity. While in some of the companies, we can step into the company, try to consolidate that sector, and when our mission is accomplished, we make the capital rotate. And this is in line with our strategic plan we just approved. As you can see, we have a strategy on direct equity and a strategy on indirect equity. On direct equity, I already said, strategic equity investment with strategic infrastructure and asset, and we do this also with foreign investors. Special purpose action, what I just finished to mention, to make the capital rotate when it needed. And indirect equity, we support private equity, venture capital, and private debt, also infrastructure funds. If compared with other countries, Italy is very small if you look at venture capital, private equity, and private debt. But CDP is stepping in very hard. I can mention CDP Venture Capital is by far the largest venture capital firm who launches in the past 2 years more than 11 funds, and CDP invested more than 1 billion. Of course, this could be a great chance for a Saudi investor to invest in one of our funds to support our venture capital and make our company, our startup, more solid. That should benefit all the market. So let me show you the potential area of participation for a foreign investor. As I said, on direct equity, we have a sectoral team who look at for potential investments. And as I said, we can make this investment with on-purpose vehicle or make a more larger framework to invest in several kind of companies. While on indirect investment, we hold stakes in asset management company, private equity, private debt, venture capital, and also infrastructure. And with that, we can make a leverage effect. We cannot do all by ourselves, of course, but through that fund, we can expand our intervention to more companies. And it's a chance more for a Saudi investor, for example, to invest in one of our funds. What I truly believe is that Italy has a lot of potential to growth in companies, in methodology, and we demonstrate that GDP can be really the gateway to open to many different kind of opportunities, and we are open to consider a specific vehicle, more broad investment agreement, and we have a platform of many funds that can attract your investment, and we will be very glad to be open and welcome you in the Italian market. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emiliano. And last but not least, Mr. Maurizio Danderia, head of SACE MENA region.
Honorable Ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I'm deeply honored to be here today and to attend this important forum and have the opportunity to present SACE activity in the Kingdom. I prepared a few slides showcasing our track record in the Kingdom and how we intend to contribute to the accomplishment of a non-oil economy and to the objective of the Vision 2030. Allow me to say a few words about SACE. We are the export credit agency of the Italian government, and providing insurance and financial support to companies, to large corporates and SMEs abroad. We have a large customer base made mainly of SMEs. I would like to thank Mr. Kamel for reminding this important aspect of the Italian economy, and that we support through our extensive domestic and international network. Let me say that our mission has been enhanced by the government since 2017. We have activated an untied program called the PUSH program to foster relationship between Italian and foreign companies. But since 2020, we've been assigned also other strategic functions, like the provision of emergency liquidity to Italian companies damaged by the pandemic, and more recently by the spike in the commodity price. And furthermore, we've been entrusted to unfold and support the energy transition of Italian companies according with the European Green New Deal. MENA is a strategic region for SACE. We have a sizable exposure, more than $20 billion. By far the first region among all the regional destinations of Italian export. And more importantly, we have big expectations from this region in overall, and in particular from KSA, that accounts for more than 50% of our pipeline. And that's the reason why we are considering to open a desk in Riyadh. KSA, has already been mentioned, is a very important partner for Italy. It's actually the first in the GCC. Our export has recovered in 2021. In terms of trade flows, imports from KSA are still fairly concentrated on oil and derivatives, while the Italian export is very well diversified, with a clear prevalence of mechanical engineering and EPC contracting. In our SACE has a long track record in this country. We have finalized in the last 15 years over 350 transactions for a total amount of $4 billion. Sectors have been, in particular, oil and gas, petrochemical, and in infrastructure. But it's important to say that we have a very important pipeline. We have transactions currently in discussion with Saudi counterparties for an amount of $5 billion. And I can say that we have a strong appetite, so we are strongly committed to achieve these targets. This pipeline is the result of an intense institutional activity that we have conducted over the years. I would focus on the MOU that was signed in 2020 with the National Debt Management Office of the Ministry of Finance. That was concluded with a specific purpose to explore the ECA channel as an alternative source of financing. But I would like to mention also the MOU concluded in 2022 with the PIF, obviously to support the large investment connected to the Vision 2030, and more recently in March with the Riyadh Bank to explore opportunities of common interest. This is just a quick example of what we can provide to our Saudi counterparties. It's a very innovative and flexible type of financing. It's an untied financing not linked to any commercial contracts, in which we bring to the table diversification of financial sources, of course, and more importantly, we put the our counterparty in contact with the relevant supply chain in Italy. In conclusion, a few remarks before closing. The Kingdom is experiencing a very strong momentum and an high interest from the financial community, interested in the implementation of the investment connected to the vision. Italy has what it takes to, in terms of advanced technology, to provide support in various sectors. I would like to mention hydrogen, green hydrogen, sustainable mobility, and connectivity. SACE will make the most to be part of this process through its traditional and innovative solutions, helping Italian companies in seizing these unprecedented business opportunities. This is all from my side. Many thanks for your attention. Thank you very much.
What is it? It is passion and style, heritage and diversity, creativity and innovation. It is about making exceptional things, talent, inspiration, engineering, design. We know how to make life worthwhile. Curiosity and dedication, bravery and imagination, expertise and precision. vision? We've got it, but there's so much more to it. We think big while tackling the smallest details. We're imagining future paths while being inspired by our living past. We're builders, innovators, artists and scientists. But as you can see, there's still so much more to it. Everyday visionaries, original and refined, stubbornly authentic, with unmatched quality on our mind. We are all this, and you can be too. Every time you live it, wear it, feel it, taste it, you'll know it's true. It is our brand, cool and unique. Italy is simply extraordinary. Be it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Those were a very insightful presentation. Now, please welcome to the stage to discuss renewable energy opportunities, Mr. Iyad Al-Amri, Business Development Executive, General Manager at Aqua Power.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to welcome our guest from Italy. Italy, for me personally, is a very unique country because I spent my wonderful honeymoon from Rome to Issoufou Capri to Assisi I went through whole Italy from north to south, so I enjoyed it completely, and it was a very nice moment, especially the honeymoon, to never repeat itself. So now I'll focus my presentation about Aqua Power, and then I will take you through a little bit, couple of somebody can help out just in this, in the monitor. Yeah, sorry. So, who we are? We're a local company in Saudi, but international spread, 13, 14 countries. What do? We develop power, water, green hydrogen projects, desalinated water globally. So our aim is to deliver water, power, and currently new area, green hydrogen, in a most competitive way, reliable, competitive way. So here you see some numbers. We're in 13 countries. We're in our focus market, Middle East, Africa, Central Asia, Southeast Asia. We almost have 43 gigawatt of power generation. So if we are a country, we are a second country in Africa, if you consider our generations. Desalination, we are the largest desalinating company in the world. And you can read the numbers in terms of asset value, almost $67 billion. In terms of employee, almost around 4,000 employee. And we aim for renewables. You see the numbers of renewables are small in terms of capacity, but in terms of asset value, is enlarging. We start in Saudi more for conventionals, and we're growing globally for renewables. So little bit here, we started in 2004, and here are some of the glimpses about some of the world records we achieved and prices achieved. Always we try to achieve to target for the best deal of the world, deal of the year, best financing deal, lower tariff. If you can see here, we aim, for example, for the CSP tariffs for Red Sea project. Let's say an example. This is the first project in the world completely powered by renewable resources. So we are a young company, we are always less ambitious in our approach. I can't see most of the things, but for CSP, we're running the largest project in the world in Dubai, in UAE. We've been the first country in the world in CSP. CSP is this concentrated solar technology. Now we are the largest solar developer in the world in thermal. And we aim for lowest tariff in Saudi, lowest tariff in Dubai, lowest tariff. So we drive technology forward. So how do we achieve that? Just before we go to the slide, what do? We develop, own, and operate power, desalination, green hydrogen plants. That's what we do. We develop them, we invest in them, we operate them over the life cycle of the projects. So how do we optimize? We optimize all the components of our inputs. We optimize the fuel, so we aim to have the highest efficient plant on the system, regardless of the RFP given to us. Why? Because a part of our sustainability, not only sustainability in terms of emissions, sustainability of our plant on the systems. So we want to be the last plant targeted for switch off. We want to be the lowest plant in the system. And we also work in all other components of financing, OPEX and CAPEX. CAPEX, if you reduce a huge amount of CAPEX through innovations, you will able to multiply the basically reduction of financing, even if the financing coming from banks compared to the government is a little bit sometimes higher, but when you work in CAPEX, we reduce it. We have in-house technology team, in-house our O&M operation maintenance, and our financial modelers and financials experts in project finance are larger than the whole banking system in the Middle East. So we have a huge, large team doing in-house financing. And during tough times, we're able to close projects. Here is some of the area, where do we move? We target markets that have growth market, sustainable, basically regulations that cater for private sectors. We are our focus market specifically we don't look at merchant market, we will look at market that have power purchase agreement, PPA, long terms. So we see that a huge part of this market is going to be in Central Asia, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Africa. These are our market at least for the coming 8 years. Eventually we can grow into other markets like South America and other markets, but currently we're trying to focus in these markets. We see a huge development in these markets. People, safety, and human and performance are, if you look at our plants in the system, wherever you go, lowest tariff and highest performance. We care about people. People for us is everything because we are not a technology provider. We are not a technology innovator. We work with all technology providers in the world. So we care about the people who do innovations, challenge the technology provider, work with the EPC contractors. I will talk now about Italy. What do we do with Italy? Italy, we work in desalination. We have Fisia, company from Italy, if you know, in desalination, did a project for us in Shuaiba, 250,000 cubic meters in Oman. So in desalination, one of the components, we have the 3 components, desalination, we work with Italy. In green hydrogen, we see a big potential. In our project in NEOM, we have the NORA, I think almost $400 million of basically contract has been given to them. Green hydrogen is huge. We see a huge potential in the green hydrogen. It's a project of $5 billion. We see Italy as a potential. We work with a company from Italy. Now it's not maybe because in the past it's called SNAM. SNAM is the largest company in Europe in terms of pipelines. We did the feasibility study to land green hydrogen production into Italy, either through Egypt or Greece. So we see Italy working with that Italian company, and Italy could be a major partner for us as Aqua, for the kingdom, for the future of energy. Currently, we have 0.2 million tons of green hydrogen in NEOM, which is $5 billion. The world is looking for 10 million ton green hydrogen in 2050. Saudi Arabia can, in terms of land and resources, can produce the whole world demand. And I think it's vital to look at this relationship, and we're working into that relationship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Iyad. And we would like to invite on the stage Mr. Marco Piedra, International Affairs Analysis and Business Support Director at INI.
Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished participants, I'm honored to be here today in Riyadh to participate to the Saudi-Italian Investment Forum. ENI has been present in Saudi Arabia for about 40 years now. We, with our subsidiary EcoFuel, have a stake in the Saudi European petrochemical company, and we have also a joint development agreement with the SABIC signed a few years ago. It is worth mentioning that ENI and Saudi Aramco are founding members of the Oil and Gas Climate Initiative, an international industry-led organization which includes 12 member companies aimed at accelerating the reduction of greenhouse gases and promoting the energy transition. To go forward. Yeah, please, I will go on anyway, for the sake of time. As an integrated energy company, Eni is fully committed to create support, to concretely support a just energy transition in line with the ambitious goals of both Italy and Saudi Arabia, namely Vision 2030. Here you can see the very ambitious goals that ENI has already declared and enlarged very recently. We want to be a leader in the energy transition also in terms of attention to the developing world, because we believe that the transition will not be successful without being just. In accordance with the EU and Italy's climate neutrality goals, in 2022, ENI relaunched its strategy with a distinctive approach that leverages proprietary and breakthrough technologies, new business models, and close collaboration with stakeholders. And also this year, for the third consecutive year, the Carbon Tracker Initiative awarded ENI the first place in the ranking of oil and gas international companies for its climate targets, for being clear, committed, and for the methodology used in these targets that include scope 1, 2, and 3. ENI, in order to achieve these goals, is counting on three major platforms: circular and bio products. We are aiming at producing 6 MTPA of biofuels by 2030. And secondly, decarbonized solutions, in particular hydrogen, with no color, because we believe that we need to be technology neutral, and we need to provide either green and blue hydrogen. And last but not least, renewable and new energies. We are planning to have installed by 2030 15 gigawatts of renewable energy production, but there is also our most ambitious plan to develop with the MIT in Boston nuclear fusion energy. This is very ambitious and promising. Allow me just to mention very fast and by titles these areas of possible cooperation. Here we have sustainable mobility. We rely very much on biofuels that we are developing, also working on the feedstock value chain with the African countries, interacting with the agri-sector in Africa. These are the 2 biorefineries already set up in Italy with the goals for biofuel production. This is hydrogen. We started a CCUS project in the UK. We are planning another project in the UK and a new one in Italy, and we are also discussing new initiatives in North Africa with Algeria and Egypt. And this is forestry because we believe that also forestry compensation will help very importantly to reduce carbon emissions. For the sake of time, I would just finish here thanking you for your attention. For me, it's too late to consider a wedding trip to Saudi Arabia, but for sure I will consider it for the next anniversary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marco. Up next, moving to the infrastructure and mobility sector, starting with Dr. Manar Al-Marif, Chief of Investment Officer at NEOM.
Good morning and welcome to Saudi Arabia. Today I'd like to present for you the future, take you to a small trip and see how is the future going to look like in 20 and 50 years and what are we about to see. In order to present the future, we just need to understand what are we trying to change, what's going on today that is not working for that future. Today, if you think about it, population is at 7 billion, expected to be 10 billion by end of the century. Carbon dioxide emissions are increasing on a daily basis, and we consume food faster than the time it takes us to grow it. So simply, we do need a fresh solution. We need to look at how can we introduce new solutions that will be able to reintroduce the way we live, reintroduce business, and reintroduce how are we going to be able to drive an economic engine for the region and for the world. And that is what NEOM is about to deliver. It's a legacy-free blueprint at the northwest of Saudi Arabia, spread over 26,500 square kilometers. Stunning desert, coastline, and mountains with 450 kilometers of coastline. A city that will be developed on 100% renewable energy, reintroducing the concept of livability, reintroducing the way we do business, legacy-free blueprint, no infrastructure, new laws and regulation, and incentives to support businesses to grow and to develop. Its location is very strategic. 13% of the world trade passes through NEOM on a daily basis, through the Red Sea. NEOM is at 40% from the world population, is only 4 hours flight from NEOM. As I mentioned, a city based on 100% renewable, new businesses and new industries will thrive in NEOM and its development. A city where we will develop only 5% of the city and 95% is going to be untouched. And that's our commitment to preserve nature and to find new solutions and innovative ways for working in harmony with nature, not against nature in developing it. When you think of NEOM, NEOM vision is very unique. It's all about the people. We've never said we wanted to have the largest city or the tallest building or the most expensive. We said we're going to be able to create a city where our aim is to attract the best talent and minds from around the world that will come and develop pioneering ideas. And the only limitation is imagination, nothing else. As long as if the imagination bar goes higher, they're going to be even able to deliver more and more and more. And that's simply our vision. If you look at NEOM, we're introducing a unique concept. And some people are going to say, well, Saudi Arabia is a big city. Why do you need to go and start from scratch somewhere new? What's the added value? It's because we're introducing a new blueprint of how the future economy is going to be. We have to start from scratch. We're developing ideas where we're going to be able to redefine the way how we look at livability, how we redefine businesses, as well as how we redefine our partnership with nature and work around it. And let me start with the latter. How are we going to be working in harmony to preserve conservation? And simply the way that we're going to be doing it over here is a city that is based on 100% renewable energy. where we will eliminate waste across the board in every area, and we will develop only 5% of the city. The second one, how will we redefine livability? A unique value proposition where we will introduce a new concept of livability. We have 7 regions in NEOM, 3 have been launched already, where each one of them have a unique value proposition. You can scuba dive, ski, stargaze, hike, as well as go to the desert all in the same day. And that provide very different livability concept across NEOM. And the final one, which is the most important that I'd like to address today, is redefining businesses. And really, what do we mean by it? Businesses in NEOM will grow faster than anywhere else around the world, as well as innovations, because we're developing a set of laws and regulation to enable industries to grow faster with no limitation, developing a unique set of incentives that will allow businesses to develop, flourish, and focus even in developing more. NEOM is not only going to be a destination where tourists can come and enjoy, it's going to be an economic engine for the region and the world across a set of diverse sectors. These sectors are going to lead the future industries of tomorrow as well as the world. And let's take a look at some of these sectors as an example. Over here you can see we're focusing the development on 16 different sectors. For a country like Saudi Arabia, you don't see something like oil and gas, because we don't think this is a sector that fits with the vision of the city. But we're focusing on future industries in energy, water, construction, manufacturing, education, etc. And here, let me just focus on a couple of them just to give you a flavor of how's that going to look like. In construction, NEOM is going to be reintroducing the concept of construction and applying modular construction facility across the board. We're going to be introducing new innovative ways of planning, designing, as well as executing on the construction. We will eliminate waste, and 1/3 of our projects are going to be based on modular construction. Another example is healthcare. We're introducing a concept to say we're going to create the first integrated patient-centric healthcare system, where each citizen in NEOM is going to have a digital twin, and it's going to do similar to what the machine digital twin do. It's going to predict exactly, based on the current behaviors, the current intake that you expose your body to, what kind of diseases you're going to have, and how long is it going to last, and how can you get rid of them. So it's an exact mimic of your body that will be able to test and tell you how things should evolve. Energy, another example, where we're developing a whole city based on renewable energy. We have 36 gigawatt minimum just in the near future of solar, 14 gigawatt of wind, and with our partners Aqua and Air Product, we're developing the first large-scale hydrogen, green hydrogen project, and this is one of many to come. Now, when we think about it, these are the sectors that will reintroduce, the future economy and how it's looking. But where was it housed? Today, as I mentioned, NEOM will provide a unique concept of livability. We will have 7 regions, 3 of them is launched. And I'll take you through the 3 regions that have been launched. The Line, a unique concept of urban planning, 170 kilometer long, that provide different living standards and ecologies all the way starting from the coastline to the mountains, enabled by its infrastructure as well as latest technology from artificial intelligence, where they will be able to provide a continuous update to improve performance as well as improve the quality of life and ensure seamless movement across the board. It's a unique concept that never existed before, where you have 0 cars, 0 streets, 0 carbon dioxide emissions. The whole livability in the Line is going to be focused on interconnected communities. Each of these communities is going to create ecosystems of business that will thrive and will grow. No distance is going to be more than 5 minutes walking, and the longest distance to the airport should be 20 minutes. A complete new standards of livability as well as urban design and livability. The second region is Oxygon, and I'm sure many of you saw the ad coming all the way to Saudi as well as read about it. It's the largest floating structure, 7 kilometer in radius. It's an industrial city that will introduce the future of clean industry. It's a hub for any of the Fortune 500 as well as startups that would like to come and have a base in NEOM. It has one of the largest integrated logistic ports and hubs, next to 13% of the world trade that passes through it, a city that is fully cognitive and will feature autonomous mobility. And finally, through GINA, which is our last announcement that came out end of March, which will reintroduce the concept of tourism in the region. Present at 2,600 meters above sea level, one of the largest artificial lake, hosting 3,600 hotel rooms and over 2,000 homes. It will reintroduce the concept of tourism, where you will be able to ski and come down in 50 minutes distance down to scuba dive in the sea at the same time. NEOM is very ambitious and it is very challenging, but it provides a unique set of opportunities to partners as well as investors from around the world. We have the location that makes it unique. We have the regulation that is set from scratch to support businesses to grow with the right incentive mechanism. We have the right pipeline of projects and opportunity that any businessman and any company is looking for to grow around the region. And most importantly, it's all being done on a foundation of an ESG, because NEOM is the largest ESG initiative globally. As I mentioned, 100% powered by renewable, unique concept of livability and social infrastructure to help people, and we're working now to actually strengthen the governance part of ESG with partners from around the world. So what do we have to offer, and what's there in the pipeline for people of interest? And the Italian companies have a lot of expertise ranging from energy all the way to infrastructure to design and other abilities. We've identified over 150 initiatives. Each initiatives have hundreds of investment opportunities that we can discuss with the relevant parties. As I mentioned, there is in real estate over 50 initiatives. In tech and digital, from building data center to 5G connectivity to subsea cable to manufacturing, energy, starting from generation to manufacturing to distribution, name it, healthcare and etc. So we don't have shy of opportunities, we have a lot of opportunities, and we need the partnership of tech provider, technologies, people who have the capability, who have the know-how, as well as financial institution who is interested to partner with us in developing this ambitious plan. As I mentioned, NEOM is challenging and it is ambition, but simply we have the location, we have the talent, and most importantly, we have the vision. And if you are focusing on making a difference, in being part of the future, please don't shy away, approach us, and let's have a discussion about what role can you play in NEOM. Thank you so much, and I'll leave you now with a short video that explains our vision.
Since the beginning, we've changed things. It's in our genes. It's what makes us human. Now we have a chance to change everything. Let's change water so it flows forever, energy so it powers our lives sustainably, and mobility so cities become playgrounds. Let's change the way we feed the world, designed to live with nature, and create factories that make the future better. Let's change learning so it's lifelong, technology so it predicts our needs, and let's help prevent more illness that we need to cure. Let's change the way we think about money, how we explore the world around us, and how experiences come to life. This is where we can change it all. NEOM, made to change.
Thank you, Dr. Manar. Now, we would like to call up Mr. Gregory Sorabian, Investment Executive Director for the Red Sea Development Company.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. I was just in Italy actually a month ago, and it's always great to visit your wonderful country. So my name is Gregory Sraby, and I'm the Executive Director of Investment at the Red Sea Development Company. The Red Sea Development Company, we are developing not one, but two of Saudi Arabia's giga projects, both the Red Sea Project and Amala. Given Red Sea Project is much more advanced than the Amala Project is, we're going to focus today to show you a little bit of where we are with the Red Sea Project, as well as to give you a little update of where we're at. And if there's anything we'd like to discuss afterwards, feel free to approach me. So before we begin, I'm going to show you a quick little video to show you where we're at. I think it's the green one.
We are breaking new ground. We're thinking differently. Sustainability is no longer enough. As David Attenborough so rightly mentioned in his latest film, we're moving from being apart from nature to becoming a part of nature, once again. For us at the Red Sea Development Company, nature is our most valuable asset and our greatest inspiration. The Red Sea Project is located between Al-Waj and Umluj on the west coast of Saudi Arabia. In an area comprising a pristine archipelago of 90 islands, teeming with coral and sea life, spectacular mountains, rolling dunes, and even dormant volcanoes. Our master plan was approved by His Majesty King Salman in 2018. Since then, we've been constantly breaking new ground in building on our promise. And to date, we've awarded key contracts to partners who share our vision. Our hub islands continue to build momentum, created in partnership with some of the world's leading architects and designers. And work on a new international airport, designed by the award-winning architect Foster & Partners, is well underway. The number of workers busy on site is growing by the day. Housed in a new construction village, providing the highest quality accommodation, healthcare, and sports facilities. The construction of our coastal village is progressing well. Eventually, this will be home to 14,000 people who will work at the destination. Connecting all these locations are the newly completed roads, jetties, and causeways. Upskilling young Saudi talent is also our priority. For example, a partnership with the University of Prince Mugrin has provided 120 scholarships for international hospitality management degrees, accredited by École Hôtelière de Lausanne. And 45 Saudis from the local area have been trained to manage our 100-hectare nursery. Conservation is a must. Sustainability, a step in the right direction. Saudi Arabia's groundbreaking vision is coming to reality. But the new frontier for tourism is regeneration. Carbon-neutral regenerative development is at the heart of our ambition, and this luxury flagship destination will deliver new standards in hospitality. This is what the Red Sea Development Company is all about.
Great, thank you. Oh, thank you. Great. Look, it's funny for my Saudi colleagues and friends who've actually been to the site, they know that this video just does not do it justice. And it's unfortunate because the video becomes outdated like the second we produce it because of how fast we are progressing on site. But everything you saw there, there's no stock footage, if you will. All the natural elements, that's exactly how the project looks. So it's quite special what we have. Look, quite frankly, both the Red Sea Project and the Amala Project are the world's most ambitious tourism and hospitality projects. You know, they're both born out of Vision 2030 with the intent to put Saudi Arabia on the international tourism map, to set new standards in sustainable development, and to really unlock one of the world's last hidden natural treasures. So we're targeting the tourism industry. You know, when you look around the world, you know, a typical country's GDP is comprised of, let's say, 10% plus or minus, which is attributed to tourism. In Saudi, it's like 3.5%, and that's purely attributed to religious tourism. And so, you know, we see this as being a significant market opportunity, untapped, that we're going to exploit. So as you saw from the video, we're strategically located. We can reach 1 billion people in you know, less than 3 hours time, and you know, we can reach, I think, 85% of the world's population within you know, an 8-hour flight. So you know, it's really at the crossroads of the world. We're really lucky that the climate we have is very mild, temperamental. Statistically speaking, we have 0 rain days with little to no humidity. So it's not like Jeddah or Dubai in the summer. If you've all been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's quite inhospitable. We don't have that. So the goal is to create the first true year-round resort destination in the GCC, and the Amala project, which is located 200 kilometers north of Red Sea project, will be no different. So for phase 1 of the Red Sea project alone, we're building 16 hotels, approximately 3,000 hotel keys across 5 islands and 2 inland sites, as well as a brand new state-of-the-art international airport, as well as all of the infrastructure to enable and support the destination. And then when the project is fully built out, the Vision 2030 plan calls for approximately 50 hotels and 8,000 hotel keys. Again, these are not small developments in the slightest. So we focus on the luxury sector. Now, if you guys are familiar with in tourism, it's the fastest growing sector in all of of all of tourism. But we chose to focus on it for a more nuanced reason. So as you saw from the video, the environment and everything around that is very near and dear to our hearts. And so most real estate developers would be so excited to develop on the entirety of our site, which is 28,000 square kilometers. It's the size of the country of Belgium. But we take a very, very different approach. We have set aside a vast majority of those lands for conservation purposes. But at the same time, we are a commercial-focused developer. So the only way for this project to be feasible, to pencil out, if you will, is if you go up the chain scale and focus on the luxury sector. So you saw from the site, you got everything from white sandy dunes and some of the best coral reef in the world, mountains, desert dunes. And when you take all of that and you layer in thoughtful planning, programming, and activities, you can create some pretty unique experiences which cater to today's modern luxury guest. That's our mascot, the hawksbill sea turtle, actually from our site. So you saw from the video how we are really pushing the boundary on the environment and regenerative tourism. And we're building the world's largest battery system, 1,000 megawatts, which is bigger, I think, than Elon Musk's battery system he's got for Tesla. So we're building a smart destination as well, which is basically to create this backbone infrastructure, not only to provide for an enhanced guest user experience, but also to create a framework and a backbone which allows us to monitor all of our climate-related activities. Again, we want to put our money where our mouth is. And then we, along with our cousins at NEOM, have been designated as a special economic zone to where we can create a legal and regulatory environment that is on par with international best practices to not only encourage foreign direct investment, but also to create an environment that is welcoming for tourists and guests from all around the world. So when you take all the things we have to offer at the Red Sea Project, we think that it's really the new value proposition, if you will, for today's modern luxury guest. So hospitality anchors the projects. Again, we are predominantly a hospitality development, and we focus on the luxury sector across the different chain scales. So you have everything from your entry-level luxury, think your Fairmonts, your Intercons, to your standard 5-star luxury, think your Rosewoods and St. Regis, and then even more special offerings in the hyper-luxury camp. And so to date, we've signed about a dozen hotel management agreements with a who's who of all of the hotel brands. And again, the strategy is to partner with them in third-party management agreements so we can leverage their distribution systems, tap into their booking engines, and really help bring awareness and football to our site. And so this is what we're offering to investors. I mean, candidly speaking, we are open for business. Now, we at the Red Sea Development Company, we are a master developer. So we're not selling off individual plots of land, similar to what they did in Dubai. However, we will partner with people in the form of whether it be service agreements or joint ventures and everything in between to allow the private sector to participate in the Red Sea project. And then we look to the private sector as well for infrastructure. Again, we're not infrastructure developers, we're commercial real estate developers. So we'll engage in the market with PPPs or D-boots, similar to what we've done to date. God willing, this week we will make our first announcement for a joint venture partnership for an investment in one of the hotels. And hopefully you'll see the big splashy news coming up. But again, we're looking to partner with people who share our values and our ethos for regenerative development, for sustainable tourism, and the like. So encourage you guys to reach out to me or to my friends at MISA. We all can set up a time to speak. Just to give you a little sense of the master plan, this is what it's looking like right now. And you saw most of the photos from the video. And this is what we're building to. So these are some of the brands that we've signed with. So the first 3 hotels open up beginning of this next year, rather, Q1 of 2023. That would be the St. Regis, the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, and the Six Senses. So something for everybody. You have the over-the-water villa experience, and you have the desert dunes experience as well. So we're about 50% complete with phase 1, and really all of the infrastructure, the enabling works have been completed. Now it's about delivering the actual guest-facing assets. And like I said, first hotel is open early next year, the remainder open in 2024, and then the Vision 2030 plan calls for subsequent developments as well. So I think that's it. And so, like I said, thank you very much for your time. I'll turn it over to my colleagues and to my cousins from the next project. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory. And now, we welcome to the stage Carlo Balasciano Villamana, Chief International Officer at Verevo dello Stato.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very honored to be here to let you acquainted a little bit more with the Ferrovie dello Stato Group. This is what we are. We are a railways company, but we do manage also roads. We are more than 80,000 people, managing 70,000 kilometers of railway network and 32 of roads. 10,000 trains a day we operate, and 7 million of vehicles on our roads. More or less, we are around 1 billion presences per year on our trains and buses. What do? We are present in all segments of the transport business. Very famous high-speed Frecciarossa, but also a lot of regional and suburban train. We also manage freight, rail transport, fast freight as well as bus, logistic, and metro. We are part of the Italian state, owned by Ministry of Economy and Finance, but reporting to the Ministry of Sustainable Infrastructure in terms of functionality. We are present with the railway network, RFI, Trenitalia is the famous passengers operators. Italfer is the most important engineering operating also in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and others. I would like to draw your attention of our presence out of Italy. We are in France with the Milano-Parigi train and Parigi-Lione. We are in Germany with Netinera, the second largest operators. We are in UK, we are in Greece, where we are the sole operator, and we will be in Spain from November 22 with 20 Frecciarossa crossing the country from Madrid to Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia, Alicante. Then we are also in the logistics sector in Germany with TX Logistics. We are the second largest local operator. And we have a very interesting company in the Netherlands for buses. Kibaz is a company through which we manage not only electric buses, but also hydrogen buses. We are in Saudi Arabia from, 2018 because we won a tender in the Flow Consortium with Hitachi and Alstom. At the time, Hitachi was Ansaldo Trasporti, was an Italian company, to operate and maintenance the line 3, 4, 5, 6 of Metro Riyadh that, as you know, will be soon in operation. Our contract is 10 years, so we will operate the metro for that period. Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic situation, this project has been delayed, but we trust that soon will be taken up. Italfer, our engineer company, participated in the past in the Land Bridge project, giving his contribution for the design of the project. Currently is also participating in the NEOM project, and is going to participate in the tender for the Land Bridge PMC that will be launched soon. What are our main excellencies? We have been, very famous because of our experience in the high speed. We have adopted as a first the ERTMS Level 2 signaling express on our high-speed infrastructure. Then we have we have been the first country in the world that opened its railway network to high-speed competition in 2012. Then we dispose a fleet of diagnostic train that every day check the whole network. We manage between Florence and Bologna the high-speed line with the longest tunnel, 79 kilometers, that represent the longest series of tunnels in the world. So we have a lot of excellencies, a lot of expertise and knowledge to be put at the disposal of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carlo. Now, we invite to the stage Mr. Pietro Paniate, Business Development Director for MENA region at WeBuild.
Good afternoon. I'm obviously honored to be here addressing this forum that is attended by so many important distinguished guests. My name is Pietro Bagnati, yes, but I want to confess I'm not the business development manager for the MENA region. I am the executive director working here for the last 15 years in Saudi Arabia on many, many projects. So I also have to confess that I'm not good at presentation. I don't do presentation normally. Why? Because our company has been here for more than 50 years, so everybody knows us. maybe it's time to have a refresher, because we changed our name. So we changed our name last year, when from Impregilo, Salini, we became We Build. It's a new name that is a program. We want to be known for what we do. We build, okay? But how we build is more important. Now, I have a small video that we want to show how our focus in the way we build is sustainability. Now, as I say, this presentation will be a disaster because I'm not used to do it. Normally, we have a very good business development manager here in Saudi that called Valerio Zangoli. That is the one that does all the donkey work. Myself, as on site, doing projects. I've been in Saudi for 15 years. We have built, I personally have worked with SEC, the Saudi electrical company. I work for the Saudi National Guard. We have done two huge developments that are two for their soldier and officer. One is here in Riyadh, that is still ongoing, and another one is in Qasim. We have, at the moment, two large air bases that are being built. One is here in Riyadh, another, again, is near Qasim. And I am also the project director for the Riyadh Metro Line 3. On top of this, we signed a contract, not later last week, for the development of the super basement. The super basement for Diriyah is called a mega structure, will be the largest car park in the world with more than 11,000 places. Now, I want to go with the video. As I say, I lifted the image, help me in this task. I don't get the video. I guarantee you, I told you that it was going to have a disaster. If somebody know how to put the video, I would appreciate it. No. Okay, in any case, let's go back at least to the slides. Okay, these are some numbers for our company, and the numbers speak by themselves. What I am here to show is that we are a large group, that we are able to compete with the best on a worldwide scale. Now, what I am particularly proud is that 92%. It means that the majority of our projects meet the goal of the United Nations for the development of projects. We have been here, as I say, more than 50 years. One of my project managers told me 2 years ago, when we were working on the development of the metro, that he was excavating and relocating some of the utility that he built 30 years ago. Again, for us, the local presence is very important, and Saudi Arabia is really at the focus, very close to our heart. Of all the country, 100 countries where we work at the moment. The project we do, these are some pictures of what we have done iconic in the area. The Kingdom Tower, the big mosque in Abu Dhabi. We work, this is one of our first projects here in Saudi in 1996, where some campaign for a water well in the countryside. And at the moment, we are working on Line 3 of the metro. The speciality of the group is mainly infrastructure, so high-speed railways. We have built all the network of the high-speed train in Italy and most of the network in France. So now we are looking for opportunity like the one in NEOM, where you want to develop a rail project or project like for the Saudi Land Bridge. We are here for that. On the clean water, I think that I'm very proud to say that nearly 85% of the water that is come from the taps in Dubai and Abu Dhabi has been produced by plant made by Fisia Italia Impianti, that is our sister company. On the green building, the project that we are building here in Riyadh for the metro, they all meet the LEED certification. Now, again. Now, if we want to talk about the sustainability, it's in our DNA in the company, because we believe that the construction industry is a fundamental partner to make the future a reality. Now, we have so many challenges in the world of today to meet to keep our world alive. So we have the threat to the climate change. We have to deal with the urban regeneration. We have to think about being energy efficient. We have to think about employment. We have to think about affordable hours. We have to think mobility. It seems to me all these things that are also in the Vision 2030 plan are the things that we are able to do, and we have an experience that is over more than 100 years. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that we are able to produce the video. As I say, I am a lousy presenter, but I'm quite good in one-to-one, so I invite people that want to discuss with me and get to know better my company and what we can do here in Saudi to approach me during the B2B session. Thank you, and I hope to meet many of you this afternoon during the B2B session. Thank you.
Magnificent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Moving on tourism and culture, I would like to invite to the stage Mr. Wissam Lubbad, Chief Financial Officer at the Royal Commission for Al-Ula.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure by now you have seen the future, the technology, the sand and beach. But let me talk about history. I don't know how this works. Okay. Next, okay. So, to unlock the history in Al-Ula. We have a long history in Al-Ula of 200,000 years and more than 20,000 kilometers of human history. We do have incredible wildlife and stunning natural formation, and we are the gatekeepers of this in the future. It's about culture, heritage, natural landscape, proximity, and synergy. Our vision, we would like to be the open museum for the world. Al-Ula is a treasure that has not been unlocked for a huge time, and our goal in Al-Ula, RCU, the Royal Commission of Al-Ula, is to unlock this and have the largest open museum in the region for the world. It spans beyond tourism. It has logistical hub, knowledge research, art, film industry, and other sectors as well. Our targets for 2035 is to reach to 2 million visitors a year, 120 billion GDP contribution, and to create about 38,000 jobs. This is our master plan. It has 4 master plans. We'll go through it one by one. The first one is the journey through time. And why do we call it journey through time? Because it's a journey through different civilization in Al-Ula. It has 5 districts, 5 key heritage sites, 9 kilometers rejuvenated cultural oasis, 15 cultural assets, 46 kilometer flow carbon tram system, and more, and 5,000 hotel keys to be completed by 2035. And also, Al-Ula is different than any other mega giga project, as we do have city, and this is like a brownfield project. It's not a greenfield project, so we do have citizens, and our master plan too is about taking care of the current community and improve the lifestyle of the existing urban in Al-Ula, which is master plan 2. Master plan 3 in another natural reserve that we will have there iconic hospitality projects. Khaybar is another master plan for Al-Ula development. And our core pillars are 3 core pillars. The first one is the government activities, the anchor assets, and the social and community assets, which is above 15 billion. The infrastructure, which is all type of primary and secondary infrastructure, which is in the range of above 30 billion. And this is only the CapEx. We're not talking about any OpEx, but this is like a snapshot of what's going to be developed in Al-Ula in the coming 10 to 15 years. And the real estate development arm, which is the commercially viable part of Al-Ula development, which will be developed by our partners, Al-Ula Development Company, one of PIF subsidiaries. This is the time frame, and this is all, it's a detailed time frame. We do have clarity on all of our asset list. When are we going to build that? What is the time frame? What is the financing options for those? So we can easily partnership with the private sectors or any potential investors, developers, toward achieving these milestones. Just to let you know, we have invested in the first kit of hospitality. We do have 2 resorts in Al-Ula. We have invested in the first kit of infrastructure. We have invested and expanded our airport. That's why we have the GCC summit last year have been done in Al-Ula, so we do have invested in our infrastructure as well, and we have invested in some of our community and anchor assets to be the first kit of development to attract private sector participation to complete this project. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wissam. Up next, we would like to welcome from Asir Development Authority the investment manager, Mr. Abdurrahman Khoja.
Respectful audience, greetings. In Asir, we have a tradition when we welcome someone, we say marhaban alf in Arabic. So allow me for our Italian audiences, I would say benvenuti melli, or benvenuti melli. And that's where my Italian stands. So, before taking you through the journey of this presentation, let me explain what's Asir and where it's located. Asir in general will complete the picture for having Saudi as an international destination. Asir is located in the southwestern region. It's have the size of 80,000 square meters, similar to the size of the UAE, and hosts 80% of the forests in Saudi Arabia. Yes, forests. When we think of Saudi Arabia geography, the first picture that comes to our mind is that desert with endless duns, golden duns. This may be true for part of Saudi Arabia, but we'll be delightfully surprised to know that this country is not only about sun, desert, and golden beaches. What amazes us here is a unique culture and unique nature. And those are the two pillars that our strategy have been built on. Inspired by 2030 vision on 2016, our prince, the governor of Asir, Turkey, Al Saud, has worked on developing the first regional strategy. And on 2021, September, His Royal Prince, His Highness Royal Prince, Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, has announced and launched the first regional strategy, Asir. Those two pillars, unique culture and unique nature, if you allow me, I will take you for a few examples. On the culture side, Asir is known for its many culture wonders, like the dresses and the dances, and even their cuisine. And we are happy that Asir has been awarded the World Gastronomy Area 2024. And as for the nature, in few seconds you'll see one of the most ancient villages. It's pictured here, which is called Rijal Alma. This is a 350 years old village. And it's one of UNESCO listed heritage sites. So both on those unique pillars, we have built our strategy, which look into three elements: growing and preserving the planet, growing and enabling people, and that will lead to prosperity. By this, we aim to be a globally leading all year round destination. The strategy, and now it goes to the investors. The strategy is a 50 billion rial
financed. And the funding of the strategy, as you see, consists of 3 sectors. 35 billion is going to be projects financed by the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, 10 billion riyals from the public funds, and we seek 6.1 billion riyal from the private sector, mainly in the tourism sector. Those are the priority investments we look at, and it's all related to the tourism sector. We believe there is a need for 23,000 rooms or keys, and we mainly focus on the three-star hotels. Now, by 2021, Asir has hosted 3.5 million visitors. Our strategy aims to host 10 million visitors, inshallah. I will end my presentation by 2 things. This picture is showing you how diverse and rich the culture of Asir. This is called Al-Kit artwork, where it's specialized by the women of Asir. Usually, the women in Asir, they handle this art, they handle the decoration of the homes in Asir. And as you can see how really vibrant and rich of colors. However, it's not only this, it's not all the time like this, because it really depends on the mood of the woman. So they can understand how the mood was when she was painting and the different colors she is using or geometrical lines. And till now, hopefully, there is no much of black. So by end of this, again, I extend my invitation. We hope to see you next time, inshallah, in Asir, and as a guest and as investors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdurrahman. And now, we invite to the stage Andrea Schiattarella, founders of Studio Schiattarella Associates.
Thank you. I don't know for the video, I have to click just. Okay, it's without audio, without sound, right? Okay, thank you very much. So thank you for attending this talk. Our firm has been working in Saudi Arabia for 12 years, about. But today, more than describing the different projects we have been involved along this time, I think it would be much more interesting to tell you about, just a few words about the approach that lies behind our projects. We have been working worldwide. Before arriving in Saudi Arabia, we worked in Far East and, of course, in Europe. And we experienced that, and we understood that currently one of the main challenges in the design and in the development is to preserve, but also to empower the cultural diversities. In many parts of the world, we are assisting to a phenomenon of homologation and cultural flattening, which is currently undergoing. On the contrary, we believe that each community has to grow, to develop, to build its future basing on their own values, their own culture, their own distinctive characters. I think it is significant that our speech comes after the one of Asir and the one of Alula, in which we see those two different characters, although the same country, Saudi Arabia, but very, very different cultural characters. It is exactly on the distinctiveness that we worked during last years, and it is in the difference, in this, among the small difference and the big difference of the regions of the culture that our project always starts. This is the way our project starts, I was saying, and always our projects are rooted in the place, taking care of the values of the community, and starting from a deep understanding of the cultural diversity and cultural specific peculiarities. That's, in few words, our approach to architecture. What we experienced in Saudi Arabia along these 10 years, in the different projects that we have been involved in at different scales, from master plan to cultural asset design, and at all stages, from concept to construction, it is, let's say, what we did is to somehow search for a Saudi way to contemporary architecture. It is exactly starting from those distinctive characters of the regions, of the places, that we try to experiment a different way to approach a contemporary architecture, not inspired by international models, but trying to be inspired by the local and distinctive character of the place, of the places. After 10 years, I can say with a bit of pride that our approach achieved a significant result. Some of our projects are now considered as exemplary of Salmani architecture. And I would like to conclude this brief speech with a bit of pride, saying that what we have done so far is certainly been driven by this clear convincement of being inspired by the local culture and the traditions and how to reinterpret them in a contemporary way. But most of all, and first of all, had been inspired and driven by the strong commitment that we have as a firm towards this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Many thanks and congratulations to all of you. It has been fascinating to hear the wealth of knowledge being exchanged and potential for future collaboration. The future is bright for both Saudi Arabia and Italy, and this partnership is stronger than ever. Please, now, join me in welcoming to the stage Deputy Minister for Economic Affairs and Research, as well as Investment Promotion at the Saudi Ministry of Investment, Dr. Saad al-Shahrani, to close out today's successful proceedings.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, once again, thank you very much for attending today's investment forum and for your contribution and collaboration with us. It has been a pleasure and honor. This has been highly an interesting afternoon, and I hope the same for you as well. Listening to these discussions and opportunities and exciting interactions, it strikes me by the scale of opportunities available that we have if we can work together. Today's event is all the more relevant as this year marks the 90th anniversary of Saudi-Italian relationship. But of course, time does not stand still. While we are proud of the history of our partnership, what excites us is its future. Saudi Arabia is changing rapidly, and these changes have a potential to bring us even closer together in the near and medium and long-term futures. Whether it's joining together to watch Juventus and AC Milan in the Supercoppa in Jeddah, whether it's two Ferrari drivers on the podium at the first Saudi Formula One Grand Prix, or whether it's watching Italian cinema at the first European film festivals in Riyadh earlier this month. As Saudi Arabia changes, it's creating opportunities for our partnerships to deepen and for us both to benefit more and more. But look from the longer perspective. Perspective is another great example of Italian innovation, energy, and other interesting sectors. But look from a longer perspective, and 90 years is just the start of something bigger and bigger. I hope today's discussions and interactions and opportunities gave you the same sense of being at the start of something. This brings to a close the main part of our agenda, but it's not the end of the forum. We will now be moving to have a lunch together and exchange more knowledge and networking and talk about these opportunities in details. After that, we will be moving to a B2B meetings, and I hope these discussions are fruitful and they provide you with all the information and the venture that you're looking for. Finally, I would like to say that I and my colleagues at the Ministry of Investment would be very happy to talk to you and address any questions you have in your mind. Saudi Arabia is committed to creating an environment that realizes our potential as an investment destination, and our role is to help unlock those investment opportunities. So if there any support we can do, please do come to us. Thank you again for coming, and I wish you a pleasant and safe stay here in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much.